Sometimes you ask that question, what is my real life purpose, the meaning of life? What's up guys, it's Boomoo. I just want to share a video on how to find the purpose of your life. I want to share just a little bit of my story just so you can have a better understanding on what is I'm trying to drive or hit home with. So when I grew up, I lost my mom and my sister at 7 years old. Had to move in Korea due to that incident, stay on my aunt's side, had to learn Korean, didn't have a very straightforward parental figure growing up. When I came back to the US when I was 14, and when I came back, I forgot how to speak English. So I was pretty much lost because my dad stayed in Korea, was doing a college professor. He was a long distance dad to me all the time. My sister was actually a law student. So when pretty much during my adolescence days, I was going to school, come back, just eating food, just doing my homework, watching TV by myself. On the weekends, I didn't know how to really socialize, to interact with people. So my high school days were considered very, very lonely. All of a sudden, everything fast forward towards me hitting 18 years old. By the time I was 18, my dad was actually heading towards his retirement as a college professor, who was an engineering college professor to be exact. My sister was a lawyer by that time, and my mom used to be a middle school teacher, and my oldest sister was supposed to be a lawyer, is what I heard. So it's almost like the destiny for myself was heading towards to becoming an ER, OR job. I don't want to be a doctor. I decided that when I was 13. My mom's heart was still beating while she was in the hospital. But I still remember, like it was yesterday, when my sister came up to me saying that my mom is no longer in this earth. And for some reason, it was like a blur to me at that day at 6 years old. And my parents was one of those people, or you can say my family members were those people that are trying to push me or actually putting in my ear that I should be a doctor. Then I was like, do I really want to look at a 7-year-old kid who's almost a reflection of myself saying indirectly in my head, I spent all this time, 12 plus years going to school, this many years spending on residency, shadowing a doctor, 50 plus hours trying to save someone's life, but I end up not able to save your parents. And look there in a kid's eye at 7 years old saying sorry is the best thing I could say. I just couldn't do it mentally. And for some reason, my dad was a college professor engineer. He always came home very tired, sleeping right away. So I was like, all right, engineers just go to home after work and they just pass out. So at 12 years old, I was just like, that was my mentality. My sister, she was always came home late, around 8 o'clock, really working hard, saying that she was gonna not arrive home before sunset in a sense. So I was like, all right, she's gonna have long hours. And lawyers, practicing law, I just didn't understand what law and policies were. I just didn't have any relatability on it whatsoever. I was growing to 18 years old and I discovered this class called AP Economics. And I know I'm jumping all over the place, but that was actually the only class that I realized, it's not like biochemistry or biology where I'm just gonna learn it and forget it. I was like, I think besides mathematics, this is actually the other thing that I can probably realistically use in my life, supply and demand. Then fast forward, I graduated with economics, and no one actually was hiring me for a good 6 months. So I was like, all right, it's either I keep on going this path and make no money and eventually just get broke and more broke, or I should just hire myself and start a career of doing that. And I was always in an entrepreneurial mindset, like something about creating a business and thriving on it, creating something that you start off with scratch and making something out of it. That excitement, almost like as a kid building a Power Ranger toy set or a robot, that building of a Lego and compounding it to make a complete package, that kind of excited me as an 18-year-old kid when I heard the concept of building your own business with little to no money at all. That capitalist mindset really like sparked me as a really young kid. And that was actually my story, where for the longest time, it took me about 12 years to actually release 11 years to see my first success. I shared you guys about my success, my grind, my schedule, what the things I had to cut out, like some addictions I have, like the smoking, the adult videos, the drinking caffeine, limiting those to really become who I am today. It's a very long process of like going through the pain, not feeling happy, but pushing through, sticking with your routine, going to the gym, eating healthy, going through all this family stuff and relationships not working out to your way, but keep going. And because relationships comes and go and tough times don't last, tough people are the ones that actually last in this. I had a couple people that really believed in me the past 11 years. Like, it wasn't really my family, sadly enough. Okay, they always encouraged me to go back to grad school, reconsidering moving back with them or come back to Korea, which was like none of my primary interests or primary solutions for me. I always wanted to build something on my own as a young kid who was always lonely, had to figure out things by himself, right? And I wanted to figure it out till I succeeded. And that was kind of my mindset. When I got into my roommates, one of the guys who really sparked my passion was one of my good friends, Sam Salas. I always call him Big Bro. He's about 5'6", 5'5" actually. When I met him, I was telling him, hey, when I make some money, I want to travel around the world. I want to go to Italy, London, Europe, all these places. He's like, kid, instead of talking about it, how about you just do it now? How about you just execute it? It was for some reason, really funny concept for me when I was 24 years old when I first heard that. I was like, dang, I think he's speaking the truth to me. And I think it was like 4 months later, as soon as I got just enough money, I went to that trip. He didn't really last the job very long when we both got hired, but he was actually one of the few first people that actually told that I was gonna go. And I sent him photos, and he was like, hey kid, I hope you had some fun. He always called me kid, and he always told me I had a great personality, you're funny, you're gonna do good in this job. And he gave me a message when I sent the photos that I went to Europe. I went to specific Italy and London, like I told him, and he's like, someone when I was around your age told me the same exact thing, that I should just do it and just go while I'm still young, and how it changed my life. I just want you to pass on to the next person. So that really sparked me and ignite a fire. I should pass on this knowledge to the next guy in line. And before that job, I was actually asking a guy who was a top rep questions, like texts all the time, like, what if I got this objection? How would you handle it? What's the mindset that you approach? And there was just people that were just like willing to give their time to me for a young guy who just like not doing so well, but was just so hungry. Just find the right people, man. If you're in the job and people are not willing to give you a piece of their time, are not really encouraging, and it's fine if you don't find very encouraging people. Find the people that see the fire in you. Some of these people, interesting enough, they see the very, very next level of you, even though there's part of you that you don't believe in it. And this is what my purpose in life is. I know I explained a very, very long story, but my purpose in life is to help the next entrepreneur, the next upcoming sales rep that is not doing so well, or lost in life, or people that didn't tell them that they were going to do well. That's kind of my meaning. And I was able to do that after struggling for 11 years. If you want to be really good at what you're trying to do, or become world class at any position you want to be, you just have to keep on going. And a lot of people don't even start. And even if they do start, about 70% of them actually end up quitting after their first attempt, or a couple more attempts. That the numbers just increase. It's not simply that you suck as a person. It could be the product that's not the right fit for the market, or how you position your offer might not even be the greatest, that things are not converting to your way, or you're not generating enough profit, or you're producing that revenue, or you're getting the conversions, or you're getting the clientele. And I always tell people, it took me 5 companies to find my first industry that I really liked. And when I got to that industry, it took me 2.5 years to finally be successful. And it took me a total, after 18 years old, trying this sales position, trying this position, trying to get this W-2 job, trying to join this corporate company, trying to get this license, that I finally find something that clicked with me. And all my advice to you guys is find the people that see the fire in you and be willing to learn. Don't settle. And when you finally reach your position of success, pass that knowledge, pass that fire that you have within you to the next guy in line. So I always encourage people, look back at your story. What made you even be in the position of watching this video? What made you even search a topic similar to this in the first place, right? If you're lost, that's fine. Find your success. Your success is gonna come. Don't be focused on being happy or being in a relationship. Embrace the struggle. The struggle is what makes your victory even better. There's gonna be a long period of time where you're not gonna see friends, family members, go to gatherings, or see the people that you want to see, or sometimes you even have to cut the people in your life. And just embrace that this is a very temporary moment, and some of them are going to be pretty long, but just understand that just sometimes not only have to outwork, but you have to out-sacrifice the competition in front of you. I like to work 6 days a week because I know my competition likes to work 5 days a week or 4 days a week. If I going to get someone who works 5 days a week and I work 6 days a week, I have an extra 52 days that I'm ahead of him if I'm working 8 hours a day. So I'm 52 days ahead against my competition. I like to work smart and hard at the same time. I'm not all about working smart only, because my competitive advantage is working smart and hard at the same time. And when you become so good at what you do, now it's about finding your unfair advantage. What separates you? What's your story that makes you stand out in the marketplace? My story is pretty simple, coming from a college professor, a dad who pushed education, a sister who found success due to our family. I just didn't want to do that route because it wasn't me. I just didn't find it was passionate, or I felt like it gave me no purpose or ignite a fire in me. And when I decided to go to sales and start my own route, that was building the excitement within me. And I'm going door to door out of all the things, from coming from a very educated family to going to direct to consumer, doing the very old school style of going door knocking, building a clientele, building a business, and ultimately talking to a person who might be lost, regardless if doing cold calls, knocking on doors, or doing internet marketing. I want to share strategies on marketing, sales concepts, and pass it on to the next guy. So the purpose of life is just leaving this world at a better place, so we can help the next sales rep, the next person who was lost and finally can find themselves. That's my purpose in life. I want people to look at the story, look at their past, and when they finally become successful, and if you are successful, look at what kind of message you can spread around the world so you can stand out. Because really it's about sharing your success and passing it along to the marketplace and leaving this world better than we found before. And what a better way to share this with other people by liking it, sharing it, and boosting the algorithm so we can reach more people just like us who need this video and get that fire that I was missing, or you guys were missing, or you feel like could help the next person. Hope you'd enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.